Welcome again. This is Nat Green back with another sketch video. Today I figured we'd take a look at putting together a couple different perspectives or angles from or of the same car. Okay, yeah, so typically I'll start with a rectangle. I might have like some kind of reference material. I mean, I usually will. But today I do not, because I'm using my phone to record my face and my laptop currently to record Photoshop. So I figured today, okay, maybe we'll do look at hatchbacks. So this is me just drawing a basic form, basic shape in the perspective that I'm looking for. And then if I don't just go for drawing the wheel arches, I'll draw these stars sometimes. That'll give me a decent idea of where to put those arches. Yeah, like this, I'm that might look right. So I like to flip the sketch just because I find it kind of highlights any obvious perspective issues. So you'll see me flipping the sketch back and forth. I mean, I think maybe this whole thing should come in a little bit more. Yeah, that's probably better. Maybe this roof line could probably come down a little bit. It's like a little SUV. Okay, so once we have the basic form down, which I think we do, this front end would probably come out a little bit further. You might get something like that going. So also draw the center line to get a decent feel for what the intended form is supposed to be. I'll get rid of some of these first lines that I had because they can create these funky perspectives, or they can interrupt some of the lines that you had initially intended to have. So here I'm going for the greenhouse. I feel like hatchbacks, you typically have a pretty big C-pillar, so this guy back here. We can make this guy a two-door. And then I figured maybe a Lexus works. Look at this. So I'll just flip that again quickly just to make sure the perspective is okay. See right here, so when I do that, we have some funky things like this. It's a little weird. Feels like we're missing a bit of the width over here on the far side. And this front end might be just a little bit long. It might be a bit high too, I'm not sure. I'll just move that up a little bit. Okay. So now I have kind of a basic form here of a hatchback. We can go in and start adding the details, different details like the belt line, what the rocker area looks like. Some of the split lines, obviously front end or rear end, whichever you're working on. And this is where I feel like a lot of the character, if you're looking for or to kind of like replicate a specific car, like if we're looking for like, or a specific brand, if we're looking for like Lexus, for example, like, you know, they have like the trademark kind of like wide pinched grille at the front, you know, so there's some easy cues, maybe some like angled, what do you call it, like arches. So there's some like easy cues, especially headlights actually. So what do they look like again? I think it's like this, and then this. You know, so there's like some easy things we can do to kind of create that affiliation to the brand that we're looking for. So that was pretty rough what I just did, but I'm actually just going to stick with it because, I mean, this is just a quick rough sketch to get the basic form across. We might even go with like squared off arches, like Lexus does on the NX and the RX. Now's maybe a good time to kind of like rough some wheels in. Let's go ahead and flip that again just to double check. So we got kind of an SUV feel happening here. I wonder if it's because like the rear end is so perched up straight. So I'll just make some room to bring that top area in a little bit. And then we can kind of draw like a more arched rear end, just like that. Okay. So let's see here, we're gonna just kind of rough in some wheels. I think the front, I feel like the front is maybe a little high. Oops. See here, we can drop it down really quick and see what happens. Yeah, I think part of why I was looking a little CUV or SUV is that the front was so tall. So I think that has to come down a little bit. And now this looks like more of like a hatchback or sport, or what do we want to call it? Sport hatch? No. But yeah, now we kind of get the feel of like tinier car that we were looking for. We can go back in, rotate this again. It might be worth like throwing like some kind of random shadow on this. Not random. Pick a light source. You know, just to ground it a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna continue on with headlight here. We can draw in like a couple split lines to continue to give the car more shape. I'll like bring that forward, and then where does the front split line sit? And then we got the hood line there already. You might even want to draw in like the rocker area, and then the bumper, you know, if you really want. That might connect like there. So I kind of like where this is going. Might be ready to just park this. But yeah, after that you can, typically what I like to do is go in with, where's my color here? Like a lighter color. And just so you have reference for the... Ouch. Oh, I forgot I sprained my ankle yesterday. Yeah, just so you have reference of where you want to put the highlights when you do render it, if you do render it. You can start describing the form a little more with these little like spider lines. I'm not sure what the technical term is. But yeah, you can kind of start to do that sort of thing. You know, just so you kind of remember how you wanted this to take shape. Yeah, let's flesh this in just a little bit more. Yeah, so I think that's okay. You can leave it at that. And let's maybe, I think that was probably about 10 minutes. Oh, 13 minutes. Okay, let's jump on to another quick one. Okay, so starting fresh again. Let's see, what do we want? Let's go for like a tilted, like slight front, more top side view. Let's see here if we can achieve that. So we got a little bit at the top. Okay, so I'll just draw through a little bit so you guys can get a better understanding of what I'm trying to achieve here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this one's like a little bit more sporty actually. I like. Again, we can go for like a Lexus-y kind of feel. So I'll draw in those wheels. Now that I got the box in there. I think what we need if we're looking at Lexus is more of a rounded, like A-pillar to roof line. And then a little bit of a slope, and a sharp return. Oops, back to, I lost my layer. Back to the bottom of the greenhouse. This will typically, actually, this should not be the A-pillar. This should be the A-pillar. There we go. And this can go down a little bit more. Okay, so we got this. I'm going to erase these draw-through lines just because they're kind of distracting. So I'll draw in my wheel arches here. We're from the side, like we're more directly on the profile here, so the arches will have a little bit more width to them, like horizontal width. I mean, they won't be perfect circles, but they'll be closer to it than what we had on the previous sketch. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Just erase this now. Okay, so we'll go, actually, hold on. This follows somewhat of the same approach that we did on the previous sketch. Okay, so here, now we have our like basic form. We can go in and start adding those elements that we were talking about, like trying to make it look more Lexus-y, right? So we have that like angled rear arch, maybe like a more angled wheel arch or boxed off wheel arch. Get that rocker area. What do we want to do down there? Let's get rid of a lot of this draw through stuff that we had. Getting the feeling this wheel is a little far forward. Yeah. So let's actually flip this sketch. I didn't do that. So yeah, it feels like the front end is a little elongated. Which is not the worst thing, but just to keep the consistency with the sketches. We'll shorten it a little bit. I think this wheel is a little bit far rearward. You know, so we might end up with more something like this. Let's see here, what can we do? Now we're dealing with the side, more of the side profile, so we gotta figure out how we want to tackle the profile more. We can just quickly rough in like what that grill previously looked like. With the okay. We can draw in that that center line again. Might be a little helpful in establishing what's happening here. And let's see, what do we have before? This line just went in there. Oh, you know what I messed up? This isn't supposed to be up top there. This is supposed to be here. Okay, so we got some. For the very front there is a little bit messy. So we can just leave it at that maybe. Let's flip this guy again. What I'm wondering is like what to do at the front here. I just want to throw in, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let the, I feel like this should be a little bit lower, a little farther back. And then, let's see, what else can we do here? Right, the wheels. We'll rough in really quick. So I think what's the main thing that I want to get across here is like how to draw, I mean in this case hatchbacks, but I think in this like series of videos is how can you quickly get like the form or some kind of interesting form on the paper in multiple perspectives. So that whoever you're drawing for really gets an idea of what you're, what you're trying to communicate. So here, and in this case it's communicating, you know, a Lexus hot hatch, let's say. So let's just draw in the split lines that we had before. So we might have at the back. Okay, the other thing I'm gonna do, remember, is like these spider looking lines. So we can get, or remember what the intention of the form is. And for somebody coming in to like look at your sketch, they'll have a better idea of the surfacing that you were trying to get at. Okay, I think that'll do it. So let's bring both of these sketches in here. Just put that up here. And then we can actually duplicate it so it's, oh shit. So it's a little darker. I mean, this is kind of just like a cheat way of having more of an impact on the paper. Oops. Oh no. Let's see here. So, okay. There you have it. I noticed that, I mean, they're similar, but it feels like the proportions are a little different. But this is a good start either way. So there you have it. We got hatchback from two separate angles. Quick like how to set it up, how to go in and add some details of like what you're trying to achieve. So you can line it up and visually communicate the form that you're trying to achieve with the sketch. Alright, so thank you guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.